Hello, gamers, and welcome to Xbot and Pony. My name is Phil,
My name is Nick.
and last video we were thinking about what the hell is Nintendo up to, and it made us think, well, what would they announce in their next Nintendo Direct? Because the big rumor going around the internet at the moment is that there's one coming on the 20th of July. So, Nick, what do you reckon? Is this likely? Do you think we'll get a Nintendo Direct on the 20th?
I do. If it's not the 20th, it's definitely going to be this month. I think they have to get out. They have to say something, and I think it'll be a direct. Obviously, the one they're probably going to have in June, slightly delayed due to everything that's happening, but I think they will. And the number one thing I want to see is Metroid Prime Trilogy. Hopefully, and yeah, 100%. I think we will definitely by the end of the
I
month.
hope so, man. Like,
Microsoft's event.
yeah. So it was just a few days before the Microsoft event, isn't it? So it's the
Yes.
interesting timing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was reading recently, I didn't realize, and it's true, the last big full dedicated direct was September of last year.
September last year. Yeah.
So we're talking nearly a year. Obviously, they've had little events like
Mini
Animal
directs.
Crossing and Smash and Pokemon and whatnot, but an actual dedicated direct, there hasn't really been anything. I think there was a mini, I
There's a
want to
mini
say, but
direct which just did indie games, really.
yeah, in third
Yeah,
party, but there was
very,
nothing
but there's
from
nothing
Nintendo
first party.
themselves.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. So,
very, very
so
rare.
in your opinion, man, what would Nintendo need to announce at this direct to sort of salvage 2020?
Well, everyone needs a big Christmas game, so
Mm,
we've just had Animal Crossing come and it's killing it.
mm,
They just announced Paper Mario. Wii U ports aren't going to be a big Christmas game. So we know there's a couple of Wii U ports coming, been reported by multiple places. So 3D World Mario and Pikmin. So we know they're definitely coming. I personally would love them to just port every Wii U game. A lot of people didn't buy that console.
mm,
Star Fox is a game I'd like to see. Didn't get great reviews. I struggled with the controls, but
mm.
they could just redo it, change the controls. That's a Star Fox game on the Switch. You're ticking boxes off here for your IPs that haven't had a release in a while. So more Wii U ports, and they can do. Yeah, we knew it was going to be a bit of a quiet year for Nintendo. Breath of the Wild will most likely be next year. That'll be their big game.
So
So
that's an interesting one to debate because obviously we
yeah,
don't know. We have no idea how far along in development it is. It was announced E3 2019,
was
which is obviously a year ago now. A lot could have
yes.
changed in that time. We could be
We
looking at
did
3 years since development started.
we had the Spanish voice actors come out and say they're
Yes,
finished.
that was
So
quite controversial,
again,
wasn't it? Yeah.
without knowing how game development works, I'm thinking if other languages are finished recording, the game would be close. It wouldn't be finished completely.
Mm.
I doubt that would be the last thing you do. Maybe 10, 20 years ago, that was the last thing you did. But I'm thinking voice acting and all that kind of stuff, that would get done pretty quick. Once your cutscenes and your story are done, and I mean, if it's a Zelda game, there's not a lot of voice acting to go into those games. So I think people were misreading that news a little bit. But
Mm.
it would mean that it's a fair bit into development. It's
Yeah.
it's coming along nicely. So
Well, that's the thing. If so, they're saying that it's kind of built on the old engine, right? You know,
yes,
for Breath of the Wild. So obviously they're going to change the map a little bit and make it look different. But if they're already working with the same engine, have got the same assets, you would
yes,
think that a 3 year turnaround could be doable.
it could.
It could be doable, and that would be a hell of a game to have 2020 finish on.
It
Like
would.
it would
Yeah.
definitely sell well, and it would definitely draw audiences away from buying a new console. I think people would be really into that. Is it gonna be this year?
I'm going to say
I'm
no.
not sure, man. I'm really not sure. Um, the other thing that I've heard people say is apparently next year is Zelda's 35th anniversary.
Yes,
So there's a good chance that they might be saving it for that, or maybe they'll want to do some special collection like the rumored Mario ones
yes,
the next year. Um, But if you look at the release dates as well, Zelda pretty consistently comes out
yes.
every year. Not every single year, but
No,
most
but
years there's
most
a
years.
Zelda game.
Yeah.
So that probably tells me if it's not Breath of the Wild, there might still be another Zelda game to
Yeah.
announce this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's rumors, or not rumors, but a port, as maybe a Zelda port is coming.
Mm.
Could be one of the Wii U games
Mm.
ported over. Wind Waker would be nice.
I'd love Wind Waker. Although, let's be honest, Skyward Sword is probably the one that they would do because that's the last one to actually go sort of have the HD upgrade. Um,
Yeah.
and I know
And
there was that rumor at the orchestra a year ago, 2 years
yeah,
ago, that they said something about a Switch port. Whether that's real or not,
I'd say
I
that'd
don't
be the
know.
one. And they'd probably get that Aussie developer that Tantalus, is it? They did it last time. They did a great job. So,
Mm.
if you're just porting a game to the Switch, why not? That would make sense. My prediction is Mario Kart. A lot of people say no, it's not going to happen. They don't release 2 Mario Karts per console. Technically, they haven't released Mario Kart on Switch. They ported number 8 to Switch. It's a deluxe edition. So
Mm.
they didn't release a Mario Kart on Switch. It came out very early in the Switch's life cycle.
Mm.
What are they working on?
It's
What
the
is that team working?
best-selling game, though. That's the thing, right? It's the best-selling game on the
Huge,
Switch. Like,
huge.
and I'm not wrong with, like, I don't disagree with you. I think it would be amazing to have a Mario Kart 9, and I would love to see what they do with it. But that game, Deluxe, is still selling really, really well. Like, they may not even have the motivation to release a new one. Like, why should they? It sold 25 million copies.
Exactly. But the other argument is, what have they been doing for 4 years, 5 years? They only make Mario Kart games, this developer.
Mario Kart Tour.
They help with Mario Kart Tour. That was the Nintendo mobile developer that made
Let's
that.
not talk about
They
that. They don't exist. They
assist.
don't exist.
Yeah,
All right, but
no.
I would love a Mario Kart 9, and that certainly
I
would make a
think
splash in 2020 if that was something
for a
that they
Christmas
released.
thing, for a November-ish, October-ish Christmas thing,
Mm.
personally, looking at the developers going through the list and being a bit, a bit OCD here, looking at who's making what and when they can release something. With Paper Mario being announced and all that, you look at the developer, you look how long has it been since they've made something.
Mm.
Doesn't take a lot of resources to port a game from the Wii U to the Switch. We've seen that already.
Mm.
So they have to be working on another Mario Kart 9.
Mm.
We suspect a Mario Odyssey as well, sequel. But I wouldn't expect to see that anytime soon.
Yeah.
I expect that to be a little bit later. So personally, looking at what's available and what's coming, that'd be their big Christmas thing.
It would work. I know there's a lot of people who are quite keen on the idea of it being more of a Nintendo Kart rather than a
Yes.
Mario Kart, and you'd bring in all these different characters from different IPs. That could work. Like if
I
you had
hope so.
like a
Yeah,
Mario Kart Ultimate type
work
thing, you know?
really well with Smash Bros. So
Mm.
I mean, I'd go back all the way to Diddy Kong Racing, like
Yeah.
games like that with different characters added in, and the Triforce games on GameCube, the Mario Kart with the Namco characters, stuff
Mm.
like that. So it's interesting when you can add new characters from different places into those sort of games.
Mm.
So yeah, I'd be all for that.
Cool.
And I think
Something
it's
else that I think they might discuss is obviously they're coming up to the 2 year anniversary of the Nintendo Online.
yes,
And if you remember last September for that anniversary, they announced that Super Nintendo games were going to be coming to the system. So potentially, you never know, could the next step be we're bringing N64 games
well, I hope
to the
so.
system or Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance games to the system? I don't know how big a splash that would do, but I'd be excited if there were N64
I'm
games
very,
on there.
yeah, very, very excited. We just got Star Wars Racer released, and
Yes.
I played that a lot on the 64.
Mm.
Looks like we got the Dreamcast version, but I've had a little go at it, and it's a lot of fun. It
Mm.
used to be fun back in the day, and it still is fun. So yeah, any N64 games, I'm always going to go back and play them. It was my favorite console growing up,
Mm.
so I'd jump at it. I jump at it. Doesn't look like there's an N64 Mini coming anytime soon, so they've been a bit lackluster with the online support. They just announced Donkey Kong and a couple other SNES games, but they're really
Mm.
slow with it compared to what they
See,
were.
yeah, that's the thing that puts the doubt a little bit is
Hmm.
actually the SNES releases have been really
Really
inconsistent. It's
slow.
like
Yeah.
once every 3, 4 months, maybe 2 or 3 games. Um, does that mean that they're slowing down their support of that service? Does it mean that it just physically takes them time to do all those additions that they want to add to the games? if we get N64, does that mean we're only going to have 5 or 6 games in a year?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Um,
Oh, how many 64 games did they release on the Wii U? It wasn't a great deal, was there?
mm. I think you've got the
Uh,
big ones. You got like Mario
got the big one.
64, Mario Kart.
And then they did Donkey Kong at towards the end as well, which was a
They
surprise.
did, yeah. Pokemon Snap eventually made it right there
It
towards the
did.
end.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they did get all the big hitters, I guess. And
Uh,
Sin and Punishment as well. We even got Sin and Punishment, which was pretty cool. I love that game. Such a good game.
yeah,
So yeah, I would be all for it. But they need to up their ante with the SNES game as
something.
well.
Yeah. Do you think so? I don't think we'll see Metroid Prime 4 quite yet. They might have a little teaser. I but the sort of the general buzz going around is that there might be a 2D Metroid coming to
Yeah,
Switch.
yeah,
That Mercury Steam might be working on. What do you reckon? What are the odds of
yeah.
something like that being announced?
They did the other one, the other remake, and it was great. I'd love for them to do Super Metroid. It could be Fusion. That could be a port of Fusion. I mean, everybody would probably prefer Super Metroid remake.
Mm,
A lot of hardcore fans say that game shouldn't be touched.
mm. That's a
But
classic. Yeah.
it's yeah, I love it. So I'd love to see it redone. So yeah, that's definitely on the cards. If we don't get Metroid Prime trilogy, we might get that. We could get both. We never know. It could just be a port central, maybe not even, maybe going into early 2021 as well. Might not just be 2020 with the delays with everything. The games might be delayed, so we might see some games trickle into early January, February, which they seem to be the thing at the moment, because it's a pretty jam-packed November. So from third parties, so yeah, maybe releasing games in December, January, February, and then maybe a couple earlier in September, October, and spread them out that way would work pretty well for Nintendo.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, that's another possibility, isn't it? That they've just decided, look, we're going to step back. We're going to let you guys fight it out for a few months, and then in 2021 we'll be back and we'll do our thing.
Yeah,
You never
exactly.
know.
Just let them
I
get tired from fighting each other and then come
yeah.
swoop in and take the victory when they're exhausted.
Mm. So the big rumor going around for a long time about Nintendo, it was in March, was that they were going to have all these remasters of Mario games.
Yes, that's the
But that's obviously gone a little bit quiet. We haven't really heard anything
yeah.
since March. Do you think that's still a thing? And would it actually, again, save Nintendo's 2020 if they announced it at the Direct?
I'll say it's a thing because of how many people in the industry reported on it and kind of just went, "Oh, we've known about this for a while. It's happening." And I think COVID's just delayed all that announcement. I think that would have been announced in June. Mario year, how they package them, I don't know. What games are specifically coming, I don't know. But yeah, Mario 64, Mario Sunshine.
Mm.
It would be great to see those enhanced, not just direct ports, fully enhanced. I mean, the PC port of Mario 64 that got released looks amazing. So, yeah, Nintendo didn't hear that. If Nintendo could do something on that quality with Mario 64,
Mm.
it'd be amazing. It really would. Like, it would really put them back up there with Nintendo, with Xbox and Sony, with what they're talking about, because like I said before, I don't think neither of those companies are really dropping massive years at the moment. They're a bit quiet still. So Nintendo has a chance to come out, salvage 2020 with some big announcements, whether it's Mario Kart or a Zelda or the Mario remakes. They need to do it in a direct. They need to do it soon, hopefully
Mm-hmm.
this month, and make themselves more relevant and get themselves trending. And I think everybody would be happy. Everyone would be very happy. They'd be just forget about how quiet they've been.
Wow, I think there's one game that for me it'll be like, yep, you've saved it, you've done it, forget PS5, Xbox Series X, you guys are useless, and it's right behind you is a 2020 version of Donkey Konga.
Donkey Konga. I love that
Yeah.
game, man. It's such a good game.
So much fun, so much fun.
So much fun. Even
And I'm sure you
Mario,
could do a variation where you just use the Switch, like the Joy Cons, right?
the
To play the bongos. You wouldn't have to buy
you
bongos
have
if
to
you
buy
didn't want to.
bongos. Now
Yeah.
that'd be amazing. They need to come back into those little quirky type games. They haven't done them since the GameCube. To be honest, there wasn't really many on the Wii U, or the Wii didn't have a lot either. It was all motiony.
There was Wii Music.
And that was it. That's where it kind of ended, I think. Wii Sports, Wii Music, gone.
Yeah, I love that era, that GameCube era.
Yeah.
There was so much experimentation going on with what their own
That's just
franchises. It was great fun.
Nintendo in a nutshell, really. So,
Oh, there you go.
yeah,
GameCube games as well. Come on,
yes,
Nintendo.
yes.
Money on the table. What are you thinking?
Nintendo 64, GameCube games, just give them to us.
Yep.
Even some Wii games would work on the Switch. So, I mean, come on, give us something.
Give us something. All right then, guys. Well, what do you think? First, if this event comes up on the 20th of July, if we get a Nintendo Direct, what do you think they're going to announce? What do they need to announce to save 2020? Because I don't know about you, but things have been a little bit dry, despite being quite successful.
Yes.
Let us know below.
Yeah, like and subscribe, and yeah, tell us what you think. What's the big game Nintendo have to announce to overshadow the competition? Take care,
All right.
guys. See you later.
Bye.